This started off as nothing more than an ordinary roll of piano wire. Today, I'm going to be forging it into a unique custom Damascus hunting knife with a curly maple handle. Let's fire up the forge and see what happens. So I started this project off by cutting up a couple of pieces of 15N20 and 3 pieces of 1084. And I drilled some 1/16 inch holes on the ends of the 1084, and that's so that I could hold the piano wire. And I just wrapped that piano wire around those 2 pieces of 1084. So once I had the 2 pieces wrapped with piano wire, I sandwiched them together with the 15N20, put them in my canister. It's a 1 1/4 inch square tube canister. Filled that up with powdered steel 1080 and 4% nickel. Put the cap on, got that welded with the handle. I fired up the forge and forged out the billet. And I used a hacksaw to cut the end of the can off, beat that down with a hammer, and pulled the billet right out. Once I had a new handle welded onto the billet, I was back in the forge and forged out my knife-shaped object. So I normalized the blade immediately after forging at 1600 Fahrenheit. Let it cool in air. From there, I took it over to the surface grinder, get the forge marks out and get a good flat surface on both sides. Drew my pattern on there and took it over to the grinder to get my profiling done. So after the profiling, I hardened the blade by heating it up to 1500 F, quenching it in Parks 50. After that, I tempered at 400 degrees for 2 hours, and then it was over to the grinder to grind the bevels in. Then I hand sanded up to 600 grit. Now I'm starting to work on the guard. That's a piece of 3/4 by 3/4 inch brass bar. Just marking out where I want to cut my piece out for my guard. Got it all marked out and took it over to the portable bandsaw. Cut that piece out. So once I had the piece cut out, I drilled holes and then used a file to file out my slot for my tang to fit in. Got it about where I wanted it. And then the last half inch or so, drove that in with a piece of PVC pipe and a hammer. Now that I got the guard on, I'm just marking out about where I want to file that down, grind that down to get the profile I want on the guard. So now that I had the guard done, I could lay out my block of curly maple, mark out where that tang is, cut off the excess on the end, and get my slot cut out in the block so my tang would fit in it. So once I had the handle pieces all fit up, I softened up the tang just by heating it up with the torch. Just watching that blue purple line, bringing it right up to the ricasso. So I was ready to do the glue up, but first I had to etch the blade. So used 3:1 ferric chloride and let it soak in instant coffee overnight. Did several etches with progressively higher grit sandpaper. I think from started with 1,000 grit, went up to 3,000 grit on the sandpaper. I went ahead and buffed the face of that guard and tried to get it close to being finished, just because I figured that's going to be really difficult to get to once it's on the knife. And it was time to do the glue up. Use JB Weld up around the guard, hammer that back on, and then used epoxy for the rest of the glue up. And I used 16th inch brass pin to secure the handle to the tang. Put that in my vise, let that dry overnight. Then it was over to the grinder to do the shaping on the handle. So I had the handle nearly finished. I wanted to darken up that brass. I used brass black to put a patina on it and darken it up. Got that done, pulled the tape off, and I had a hunting knife forged from piano wire. Only thing left to do then was put an edge on it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you liked the video. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks.